golden anniversary is often the 50th joyous celebration of a marriage where two loves who spent a life together mark the occasion with family, friends, and loved ones. Well, we're about to do almost the exact opposite of that. Not merely with our own experience and opinion, but also data and many of the damning charts we will show you this week. They will do much of the illustrating for why the last 50 years of this full fiat currency global monetary regime has been an acute retardant in advancing human prosperity and peace. But for now, let's pretend that it's Sunday night, August 15th, 1971, and you're settling in on the couch for one of your favorite entertainment diversions. Except the then President Nixon administration had different plans, and decided that was the hour to address the then also increasing price inflation with 90 days of wage and price controls, which failed spectacularly into
the last era in which gold and silver bullion revalued sharply in response to mass fiat currency debasement. In early January 1971, the then U.S. President Richard Nixon described himself as, quote, now a Keynesian in economics, unquote. By August 15th of that same year, his actions proved his words. Expansionist public spending and larger deficit budgets have seemingly only followed over these last 50 years of full fiat Federal Reserve note issuance. President Nixon's then temporary repeal of the post-World War II gold bullion-backed Bretton Woods monetary system is still ongoing. And here is quickly how it looked on our televisions way back then.
Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States. Let me lay to rest the bugaboo of what is called devaluation. The effect of this action, in other words, will be to stabilize the dollar. In full cooperation with the International Monetary Fund and those who trade with us, we will press for the necessary reforms to set up an urgently needed new international monetary system. Stability and equal treatment is in everybody's best interest.
Perhaps nothing is more permanent than even temporary suspensions of our old international monetary agreements.
Monetary sanity, convertibility, had been restored in Europe in 1959, and almost immediately thereafter, the United States began running enormous balance of payments deficits, year in and year out. Bretton Woods established an arrangement whereby, supposedly from 1945 and the end of the war onward, all currencies were convertible to the dollar and the dollar to gold. At that time, gold reserves were the final mechanism for settling balance of payments deficits. But Bretton Woods forestalled this process by permitting the sole reserve currency, the main reserve currency, to be considered as official reserves for foreign central banks, such that they could settle all their deficits in dollars as opposed to gold. When we were spending more money abroad than we were taking in, all the foreign countries, especially in Europe and in Japan, absorbed these dollars, pouring into their economies, and they held them in their reserves. They immediately take those dollars and reinvest them in the New York money market. Thus, the Americans, I should say the American government, were able to buy abroad and buy at home at the same time. And gradually this vast foreign exchange component built up as a claim against gold. And in 1971, both Britain and several other countries decided to encash their huge accumulations of dollar reserves under the Bretton Woods system for gold. And of course, President Nixon, in his own way, decided to trump them.
George says as long as we do not have convertibility, he says the Europeans can't do all that much to us.
They can't.
Because he says when we had convertibility, then they had a right to lecture us about what we ought to do. But with convertibility, without convertibility, that is not the case.
These countries had the right to claim gold to redeem their dollar reserves, it would put the United States in a position of insolvency.
We just shouldn't get all that excited about the fact that they worry about our budget. Is that your view?
That's exactly right. They can't do one cockeyed thing, and they'll say, oh, well, we've got to maintain our relations. We've asked them to hold dollars. And I said, no, we didn't ask them to hold dollars. They've held dollars. It's been in their interest to hold dollars.
That's right.
And I said, hell with them. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about us.
That's right.
Sergeant, what is your reaction now 48 hours after the president's announcement?
Well, I think if he'd followed up with the consumer products and freeze the prices on them along with the labor and the rent situation, well, we'd be on an equal basis and it'd be fine.
The reason that I don't think it'll work is because of the economical aspects of our foreign trade.
Well, I thought it was very good, and I know it was long overdue, and it was something well needed. I think Mr. Nixon is a good man and just had time to work his program out.
Sir, what is your reaction to the president's economic message?
I think it'll work. I'm glad he finally has done something. I think he's needed to do something in a while, and his previous outlooks on it have not worked. It's been proven. I think this will do some good, and I hope it doesn't go any longer than the 90 days.
I believe it was the right thing, because I believe it'll stop some price increases for a little while. Hopefully they'll extend it.
The spot price of silver on that day, August 17, 1971, was $1.59 an ounce, and gold was $43.05 an ounce. For the remainder of those 1970s into the early 1980s, the nation's then new full fiat Fed note currency's performance as a store of value was terrible. Hello there, on behalf of SDBullion.com, this is James Anderson. Before we go further, please smash the like button so other sound money stackers can also see this content. And be sure to subscribe to our SD Bullion channel so you can get our latest market coverages and also a chance at winning incredible bullion giveaways like this one.
You know the drill. SD Bullion is giving away a box of 500 new 2021 Silver Eagles that could have your name written all over it. But if you don't enter, it could go to someone like Silver Steve here. And while we like Silver Steve, he really doesn't like to share. So click the link below for your chance to win.
Click the link below to enter your chance at winning this 2021 SD Bullion Type 2 American Silver Eagle Coin Monster Box giveaway of 500 Silver Eagle coins. Official sweepstakes rules can be found at www.sdbullion.com/sweepstakes. Good luck to all of you who enter and for your chance to win. Well, we're now back here in mid-August 2021, now 50 years after going full fiat Fed note regime. I wonder if you too were lucky enough to be a bullion buyer on Sunday evening into Monday morning of this past week. If so, kudos to you on perhaps taking advantage. Of course, this image is a lighthearted joke for you out there. The current U.S. executive administration was unlikely naked short-selling gold or silver COMEX derivatives late last Sunday evening. But we'll have a look at who might have been in a minute. This, the last 90-day silver spot price, gold spot price, and gold-silver ratio running. You can see the Sunday night waterfall spike decline for silver and gold under the August 8th at the bottom of the chart. Gold finished this week higher than it began, and silver did not. Thus, the gold-silver ratio has rebounded to 75. Longtime electronic derivative commodity contract trader Peter Brand had this explanation via Twitter. I've seen similar price action to COMEX gold, COMEX silver many times over the years. This has all the fingerprints of a bank brokerage house conducting forced liquidation upon a huge leveraged speculator. The leverage in the futures market for trading COMEX, CME gold, is about 15 to 1. Thus, a leverage position can get into serious trouble with the type of decline experienced on Friday, resulting in a forced liquidation on Sunday's opening. Yeah, that's a plausible explanation. I wonder how Peter would explain these prior, all-time silver and gold spot price market interventions that I've been through. So given that we are critically celebrating the full fiat era regime over the last 50 years this week, here's the gold spot price versus its 200-day moving average over the last 51 years, spanning the entire full fiat currency era. Typically, when in a bullion bull market, you would prefer to acquire when the bottom blue line is below the red line. And the same goes with silver. Although the COMEX futures trader moniker of the devil's metal is often a bit more volatile than gold, even in a secular bull market, so the swings you will see in the bottom half are a little bit larger. Again, look on this chart here at the bottom as the blue line is currently below the red line, illustrating that we are indeed below the 200-day moving average. How long will the two monetary precious metals stay there? Well, the majority of over 800 people I polled on Twitter last day remain bullish through the end of this year, as do I. Now finishing up our week's data chart bonanza criticism of this now 50-year full fiat currency era, we want to highlight how insane and corrosive things have become since the early 1970s, thanks mainly to the global fiat currency running amok. Even mainstream financial commentator Bloomberg's own establishment piece, John Authors, took a look at some of these charts that I'm about to show you. He tweeted about it this week. I'll leave a link in the comments below from a video we did about a year ago when he basically admitted that we're headed for a potential gold bullion shortage future. The video is entitled Gold Silver Short Squeeze May Become Almighty, and it's in the comments and show notes below if you missed it. But for the remainder of this video's visual dirge, remember as you look at these charts, it is the world's masses and our fellow human beings who have and continue suffering under this crony insider benefiting, wealth disparity expanding, short-sighted 50-year full fiat monetary policy. That's all for this week. Take great care of yourselves and those that you love. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give our video a thumbs up. To keep getting bullion-related news and industry insights, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Finally, hit that alert button so you know when we publish fresh content. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you think and which topics you want to hear more about.